This deck testing video is going to showcase a deck that is very, very effective and it's been very good on the ladder, but for whatever reason is just not super popular right now. It's a deck that Eyenie has been incredibly successful with, and if you're not familiar, Eyenie is a multiple #1 legend finisher, performs very well in tournaments, won the last Team Rank Star Classic, for example, and a few times he's decided to take Control Crusader and pilot it to a very high finish. Now, this is not his exact list, if I remember correctly from the last one that he played at the Classic, but the core is really similar, and we're gonna take this for a spin, like we do on the old ladder. And we're looking for Rage Crusader, there we go. And like we do, it's gonna be 2 games, win or lose. It's entirely possible that despite this deck being amazing, I just turn around and go 0-2 with it because, spoiler alert, I'm not Eyenie. Eyenie is a madman. And instead I end up playing against Matt Oblivion right out of the gate. Yeah, this looks fine for an opener. If you're not familiar, Matt, Legends streamer, streams other things as well. Very good guy. I'm one of the few people, I think, on the planet that's actually seen his real face. We met at the Masters, excuse me, not the Masters Series. He tried qualifying but fell just short last year. He and I met at Bethesda headquarters. Yeah, I think we're going to let this go. I don't think we execute here because we have the Skaven. We want to bait him into playing something else over there. Now, Matt's a smart guy, so yeah, I don't think he's going to do that. Thought about maybe playing Bruma over here, just for the health gain, but...
Your coin or your life. Choose.
Let's heat things up.
We'll go ahead and do this. Interesting that he's playing this in a tricolor deck. I'm a big fan of including this card in 2-color decks, but saves the dagger, gets the expertise, post. This is interesting because I won't have a good way to get rid of Divine Fervor, but I also don't have a good way to clear this board at the moment.
We must protect our
So we'll just do it. Post Skaven. Turns out Matt is the one who debated me. I could have saved this and instead went with some combination of Crushing Blow and like Profiteer last turn, which may have forced him to trade the other creature into Profiteer, but... Matt, stop. I can only take so much. Don't do this to me. Does not want to break the rune for a single point of damage. We're gonna Crushing Blow here. And Profiteer here. Might end up getting punished for not using the Execute and using that Skaven too early. But I feel like this is a list that still runs Daggerfall, so... kind of what we're waiting on.
Hardly a challenge. Stay down. Form ranks.
Soldiers, report.
All right.
Your orders. Your orders.
I see you. We are going to take some pain here. Well, we're probably going to have to use this Execute just to clear something off the board. Next turn we can at least try to slow things down with Giant. The problem is we play Giant and then play Rage, that, while being a really splashy play, doesn't really help us stabilize. We could also just play the Moose to wall up, say over here, while also drawing some cards. Then that means not executing something. And I really want to get the drain down. What a dilemma.
Speak, citizen.
Yeah, let's go ahead and
I'll profit from your death.
let's go ahead and just do this. I'm not a big fan of this line. I really feel like Moose might end up being technically better, but any sort of item play makes it just turn into a 1-for-1 for Moose, and then I take a bunch of damage.
We press on.
Yeah, as it is,
The
they're
forest
going
will
to...
not suffer your presence.
Oof, Matt.
Into the breach.
Matt.
Praise you. Stand on, defend us.
Please, less smork.
Time to fight. Time to fight.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a loss. Didn't hit any prophecies to save us. I mean, theoretically, it would still need to buff to plow through. Well, this appears to be our only attempt at a save. But I would be absolutely shocked if they didn't have either some sort of answer for the giant and or the source of 1 extra damage to attack from over here. So, and there it is. So we're gonna start with Matt kicking our face in, and then we're gonna go to game 2. Turns out Unstoppable Rage kind of doesn't matter if you're dead before it's relevant. And trying to think back through, the Moose is potentially a questionable play. The Skaven too early, too greedy is probably the other questionable play. I feel like Matt's list does likely run Daggerfall because it's a great way to give you another source of expertise, and saving the execute for that was the train of thought, but perhaps that was incorrect. But we're moving on. Maybe our fortunes will be better this time around. Yeah, one of the things I didn't do the last time either was I didn't like pre-play Bruma just to get board presence. I suppose that doing this
A strong arm is what you need.
kind of forces something out of them. We'll get that dapper defender down. Gonna be a little more proactive this time.
And now for a practical demonstration.
Okay.
Here's how it's done.
Bravo. Tempted to crash this in and let it die just so I can get a hold of the 5/5, but if I put this over here, it will almost certainly attract a dagger and a trade. So let's do that.
Citizen.
I'm okay with letting this go since we already have the hunger in hand, so if we need to do a from-hand rage combo later, we have an inexpensive option to do so that also rages for 4 instead of 3.
A strong arm is what you need.
Here's how it's done.
I was wrong, there was no dagger, it was a mace instead. Well, we'll be a little more proactive here and just nuke this, keep our drain creature alive. See what else they got.
A strong arm is what
Another blacksmith. Wow, that's all three, huh?
I live for adventure.
It's an impressive captain.
Ita Oriel.
It's an impressive captain. And take this value trade here and draw some cards. The moose is loose. Now the moose is going to bite it. Not much we can really do about that, but with our hand the way that it is, we are 1 damage shy of being able to just pull it off the board.
Do not touch me!
Yeah, let's take the rapid shot here in case we draw something. Ouch. So Belligerent Giant's incredibly effective against recruits. In case you are not aware. Like, so much so that we're just going to showcase exactly why. Because the recruit goes back to their hand, but the item goes to the discard pile.
Oriel.
Does mean that this survives, but that was just significantly, like, way too impactful to ignore. So,
Glory.
oh look, the recruit's back.
We must protect our stronghold.
Yeah, let's just get rid of the Rothgar Forge. I don't want to deal with that. That feels like a bad time.
Ita
Take our
Oriel.
trade. Swing here. And then since we have 2 hungers, we can kind of spare 1 just to saturate our magicka a bit. Yeah, we'll hold on to that one. I'm not going to use both. Could have also played the Cloud Rest, but it would have only just saved the drain creature, which may or may not have been worth it.
Take this.
That captain is seasoned. Spicy.
Let's take care of business, shall we?
This should be lethal, right? Oh, we're 1 magicka shy of lethal, actually, huh? Because this takes it down to 7, and then a rage here only does 6 over top of this. So instead, it looks like our plan of action is to take this trade, still push here. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. That changes things. It means I have to javelin this to save my giant, where before it was an execute. But I gotta be honest, I was not expecting Staff of Ice to be the prophecy there. I was expecting it to be a lightning bolt that would have nuked my poor giant anyway. But this appears to be somebody kind of all in on the item Daggerfall theme, so... And there you have it. Alright, so 1-1. Got my face beat in by Matt. I made a couple of questionable plays, just overall. Probably should have saved my 3/3 drain this last game. In the game against Matt, needed to be greedier, I think, with the Skaven. But overall, 1-1 still respectable. And listen, you can't argue against the overall quality of the deck because Eyenie's taken it to #1 legend and won tournaments with it. So just because I'm terrible at piloting it doesn't mean it's a bad deck. So if you're looking for something new, or you know, a deck that's not tricolor that you want to try piloting, this is an effective list. And if you made it this far, thanks for watching. Until next time, may you walk on warm sands.